Hello there, welcome to episode 18 of my tutorial series for Dwarf Fortress. Today we are going to go into the caverns. So today's episode will be all about getting ourselves a foot into the door here. I'm going to go downstairs, we're going to have some fun with that, and well, let's see. I'm going to share as much knowledge as I have in store for the first layer of the caverns here, and let's see what we can achieve. So upstairs, we are in a pretty okay situation. I mean, it would be pretty cool to expand our little box here by adding in more traps and expanding where the wall works a little bit. But I want to wait until the winter is over, and then we're going to set this thing here in motion. And, well, until then, we're going to have some fun today with the caverns. That was my plan. So, first things first, we're going to dig open that piece of wall here. So, here it's quite important that we work quickly, because whenever there's a breach between the main base and the caverns, this is something dangerous. But we got ourselves one squad of soldiers available. By now, well, they're still looking for their boots. So let's see if I have a fix for that today as well. I don't know if I have my armor stockpiles properly configured. I need to check that out, but one thing at a time. So first things first, we're placing down a door here, and we're also going to place down walls here. So the thing is, wow, we we've just discovered lots of things here in the caverns. Um, the thing here is that we are henceforth officially in danger. This door is destroyable, so building destroying entities have their opportunity to just hurt us from here on. But luckily we got that little hatch here, which should protect us if ever something bad should happen. Because as long as a hatch is not accessible by any other direction, a entity from below cannot shred it. So this is pretty self-contained. So we are good in that regard. So here, well, this is all the wealth that we found around us while we explored the a little bit of the caverns. The caverns are really rich in minerals and gemstones, and here we have already our first denizen. So a giant cave toad is meandering around. I really hope that this door is being delivered soon. Ah, finally. So this is giving me now a better feeling. The next thing we're going to do is now traps. So, cage traps. Here's the deal. We're going to go and place down a handful of these. Now let's see. Do I have a work order for cages already? I don't think I do. Because you can, of course, build a cage trap, but without a cage to load it with, the trap is entirely useless. Yeah, we don't have any traps yet. Cages, I mean. So let's start crafting ourselves some cages. We could make them out of wood or out of iron. It doesn't really matter that much. Actually, wood is pretty cool because it's lightweight and it still catches the monsters. But you could also make them out of glass that would catch also aquatic beings. But we're going to stay old school here with the iron cages. Why not? So if we have less than 5 of these babies, we're going to produce a couple of them. There we go. So this will make those traps here for the time being, of course, not useful. But as soon as this is loaded here, we're going to have an assortment of cage traps, which we can check every now and then whether or not we have found ourselves something tasty in there. All right, so let's go and dig down a tad bit deeper because I figured that we definitely could and should go for the other layers of the cavern as well. So we're going to do that. There we go. Carefully carving my way up ahead there. So what I'm looking for right now is to hit rock bottom here. So this is the next station, so to say. Let's dig that out a little bit more like that, and give this also its own hotkey. So now we have a hotkey up here and a hotkey down there. All right. So these traps, of course, they need to get loaded first before they are entirely just lying around there, like I said. So this, by the way, is a small animal trap, if you were wondering. This is the difference between the cage trap and the other one. This one, it literally catches everything, except for things that are too large. And if they are too large, you just need to web them. So here we have a monster slayer in action. So monster slayers are amazing because what they do for you is they run around here and explore the area for you. That's pretty great because this way we don't have to get ourselves in danger. I'm going to follow the camera here. I don't know what the guy's right now doing. He's just chilling out there. But monster slayers, well, usually they will die a cruel way, one or another. I seriously don't know why you're just sitting there. I mean, sure, I see that she's not in too much of a good mood now. She's moving a little bit. All right. So we'll wait until something exciting happens. Got it. Okay. Now, the next interesting part will be this little balcony here. I don't know if we're going to go for that for real, or if we're going to go deeper again. I think we're going to go deeper again. My goal here is to get a little bit closer to the areas here, as you see. The deeper we browse down, the more balconies and ledges we find there. And I want to have a couple of entry points that we can control. But most importantly, this area here is pretty up above, so I don't expect too many interesting things happening here. If we go down deeper and closer to the bottom of this cavern, I hope to find a bit of trees or anything like that, a bit more. I mean, our biome here is by all means, well, trees are not that important for us, but it's always cool to showcase that, you know. Oh, silly old me! I that happens so often to me. I overwrite the staircase command there. All right, so let's be careful about that. Like I said before, this door is only so and so much safety. If ever anything really stupidly dangerous will wander into these caverns, I will wall this off. This is, by the way, the reason why I didn't put down a cage trap on the last tile there, because I want to be able to have control over this area if necessary, and the best piece of control is always just a piece of wall, you know. Nobody can destroy a wall except for you, and therefore this is pretty safe. But we should keep one thing in mind. If anything is flying, we're still pretty damned. Because, well, as soon as the safe thing is finally done, I can show you that if we browse upstairs, you see, there's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So 5 Z layers that are here, which a flying entity could just traverse over. So even if we put a wall here, something flying or something really versed in climbing could just do their thing. So that's pretty crappy. But there's always some risk involved. Worst case scenario, we just rip out that hatch and put a piece of floor down there and just seal it off for good. Always works, you know. If nothing else works, just put down a bit of that here. So we have a glass maker who's trying to make something special. Let's see. A glass furnace has been claimed. So needs rock, needs raw green. So, well, what is raw green? Is that raw glass? If so, he just doomed himself a bit. So, I gotta admit, I haven't had that before, the raw green thing. So let's prepare him some, raw green glass. I mean, We got the sand and all. And we got a thief. Oh. Wonder how thieves can actually get in here with all the traps. We would really require better traps then. They know the traps, that's the issue. Well. So, let's get ourselves and make us some raw green glass. I mean, he's literally asking for raw green. It's the first time that I see that, but let's check that out. In case you don't want to go and wonder what the correct answer is, you always can go and check out the Wikipedia that has all the answers for moody dwarfs, you know. So our dude grabbed the raw green glass. I was right about that, so problem solved. That's a nice thing. Let's see what he's grabbing there. But it ain't that important. Let's get back downstairs. So here we could now go a little bit further there, but I actually don't want to. What I do want here is I want to create a bit of a system where we can just swap from one room to another. I really do like to keep things like this, modular and the like, so we can always go for some safety seal off if ever necessary, if you get my idea. So here you see our explorers are finding all manner of different riches here. But actually, as a matter of fact, I'd really like to go and get down below the first layer of the caverns as soon as possible. So let's carve our way down here. And this way, I am creating a nice network of staircases that are safe, where we can pretty much access every layer of the caverns that we want to access without being too much in danger. Alright, let's go all the way down there. So this way we have a nice staggered staircase thing. You could make it even safer if you'd leave one tile between those staircases and all. So my goal here is now to get finally below this cavern layer for real. So there we go. So this is now rock bottom, you know. Here we go. So probably I'll put this on F5 because this is now the really interesting part. This is where we are actually below layer 1 of the caverns. So our glassmaker has made a legendary green glass scepter. Alright, I should probably call it. So you can always check them out. Let's see. We have cobwebs. So it doesn't even have a value. Alright, that's interesting. I bet that's only a display mistake there. Okay, but we saved the life of one of our dwarfs. Let's dismantle that thing. We don't really need that. And, well, sadly, no cages have been made so far. But as far as I've understood things, that's perfectly understandable. Because we... How should I put it? Now I lost my train of thought. Whoopsie. Now it doesn't come back. Well, whatever. So we're going now below this layer of the cavern, and that means whatever we're finding next down here, when we get ourselves into an opening down here, this is going to be the second layer of the caverns, which is most likely way more dangerous than the one before, but it's also a lot more interesting than the one before, because you're getting closer to the magma layers, where free fuel waits for you. Alright, so let's make this a little bit of our base camp. So let's center my thing here again. And, jeez. So our explorers are uncovering all manner of different things. That's pretty cool to have these dungeon explorers because right now it's still pretty loose, and as you see here, the deeper I browse, the less I know. But the longer our adventurers will be around here, the monster slayers, I mean, the more we will know about this. It's due to the mineral richness of this world, of the tutorial world that we're playing here. Of course, we're being flooded with information here, which is actually not really an information, but you get the idea. And we got miasma there, so that is not a good thing. That means our corpse stockpile up there is not here. There's a water buffalo not being transported away. Let's see. We got, well, got the proper connections, but let's see. That's odd. This should not happen, actually, but probably because of the fact that the corpse stockpile is so far away, the dwarfs are a little bit in trouble. So we're going to help them. I'm going to introduce to you a magnificent wonder of dwarven ingenuity, and that's the bridge wall. So we're going to put down a bridge like here, and when we connect that with a lever, that bridge can just simply be drawn up, and it's going to be what we need to open or close our fortress for business. So I really hope that this will help now to get rid of the miasmatic corpse down there. Look at that. Look good, look good. Alright, so here we got that thing now. And we're just going to connect that with a lever here. This fortress still has no proper trade caravan access. I'm well aware of that, but it's a beginner's fortress, and beginners are most likely not going to care about whether their trade caravan is coming with a wagon or not. But we're going to fix that as well, don't you worry. I got plans. I do have my plans, but one thing at a time, please. Alright, so now we got that as well, and now we link that lever to this piece of bridge. So it's the wall bridge, and we're going to rename that thing here also into wall bridge, so there's never going to be any confusion about what's what there. So we still don't have any cages loaded into that thing. I'm disappointed. What are you guys doing the entire day? Well, making all manner of different iron items. That's what they do. Alright, so let's see what happened to the situation here. So we don't have any, let's see, custom detail here. So I put all the work on one dwarf's back. So here you see a typical mistake that we need to change there. So let's give this job to 3 dwarfs, so we get the stuff done. So this was all the time the reason why things didn't get done. So often a problem is really just hinging on stuff like that. So our entire equipment issue here for the squads there surely was just because of the lack of smiths getting the job done. I bet that this was the majority of the issue. Alright, that's pretty good. So, since we have now 3 metalsmiths, we should also make a 3rd smithy. So, do I have no anvils on the bill? That's unforgivable, so anvils should always be on the list, so Dwarven paradoxon of anvils is something you shouldn't trifle with, because you need anvils to make anvils. That's one weird thing, but it is just as it is. So one of our monster slayers has done his first thing there. And there's a troglodyte splattered all over the place. That's actually really disconcerting me because look at where he is. So that troglodyte actually wandered all the way in there and was already in our fortress. So that's what you get when you don't pay close attention to things. But luckily, we got ourselves a bit of safety here. So what we can do here to provide even more safety now is we can provide a similar trap situation there. So let's put a couple of traps there, and probably a couple of cage traps staggered behind that. So we get to take care of these situations in time. That was quite scary, not gonna lie. So as you see there, troglodytes are being battled there, but the monster hunters are actually doing their job for us. You can always read the battle logs more closely if you really want to. Most of the time, it's a very lengthy read, and I personally like to go for the end of the story because that's almost always telling you the most of it. So that troglodyte, by the way, we would have catched him if we'd had already cages. So we can have a lot of fun with these. All right. So let's see. Base camp has been established down here. So here the real interesting part will now be to find out where will the deeper layers of the caverns continue. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be way too careful. All right. This is not necessary to be that careful, but I really like to be that careful. So, troglodyte has been knocked unconscious. You can always see who's hanging around, what you know of in this area here. So one troglodyte is hanging around there, and one troglodyte is hanging around here. All right, so things are pretty okay. So as you might notice, the moment you got yourself the caverns opened for business, things are a little bit more exciting. You can always seal off the door here, by the way. So there we go. The troglodyte didn't. He wanted to enter, but we're close right now. Close for maintenance. I really want to get those cages done. That's one thing that really concerns me. That got no cages. So let's add a new task there. Cages are found under trap components, if I'm not mistaken. No, they're furniture. They're actually furniture. So we're going to put these cages onto top priority now. At least 2 of them are going to be made. There we go. And as soon as they are made, we're going to reopen that thing. But you can already see how quickly things are being set in motion here the moment you open up your caverns for business. And it's always different what kind of denizens you will find down there, so you never really know. So what I'm doing here right now is a bit of a probing system. I'm going downstairs and I'm trying to dig a little bit into every direction to find the next piece of caverns there, because that's going to be the next important thing to worry about. So let's check out what our smithies have completed there. So we got one exceptional iron cage there, and the other iron cage has been already hauled away. So let's open up the door yet again. It's really fun because with traps you can pretty much collect everything that comes on by here can be collected. I like that because we got a lot of options with those stray monsters. You could basically start breeding them. We could collect ourselves one male and one female troglodyte and start bringing up a troglodyte farm. I don't know why the hell you would want that, but you could. That's the beauty of Dwarf Fortress. Whatever crosses your mind, you probably can do it. So let's see. There's still no cages being transported here. Sometimes it really takes a while until things get done. So that's a little bit tragic. But let's put the hauling on everybody's duty. And we're striking all manner of different gemstones here. That's pretty beautiful, as you see there. We got a lot of valuable things happening here, and here I'll keep continuing this pattern now until I find somewhere down below where we strike through the wall and find something else. I mean, basically, we could now, of course, pick up the wealth here from all these different things. That's pretty clear. But in this scenario right now, I just want to get my way to the different layers and all, so I can explain things a little bit better. But on this level of the map, we find a lot of valuable things. Really a lot of valuable things. Sadly, we don't seem to have any cave spiders around here, so we're not going to have any cave spider silk. But whenever you go open up the caverns this year, automatically collect webs, deactivate that as the first thing, because otherwise, if they ever spot any webs somewhere, your average tourist will just go and suicide for the sake of some spider silk. That's just not worth it, you know. That's just not worth it. So there we go. Opening up the tunnels. So and the monster slayers, as you see there by now, I'm accepting them all because they're just very useful for me. They keep scouring the area, so there's a high chance of them to explore whatever can be explored here, and they kill off stuff that's just coming on by, and well, which we just don't want around here. Wonderful. So here I can already see the first cage trap has been loaded. So as you see there, the dots are now filled, and if somebody or something would now step on that trap, we have it in that trap. And that's a great thing. And the coolest thing about that is it's not going to trigger on your own dwarf, so don't you worry. Nobody of your own people will ever get caught by a trap unless it's a webbed trap, and or your own person is trapped and is webbed. Then it will spring off. But fringe cases, in a average case, these cage traps, they're totally safe for your own people. That's the beauty about them. All right, so as you see there, we're getting that here open, and since you saw how expansive the other caverns are, it's only a matter of time until we hit one new layer of that with the exploration pattern here. It'll take a while, of course, because we're just carving out lots of area here, but it's worth it. It's worth it. So we got ourselves a troll in the cage, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, there's a troll in the cage. So how about that? We got ourselves a first really valuable use of that, because that troll surely would have been some trouble for us. So there's another. No, this is the only troll, so look at him in all his beauty. So we're going to check on out what we're going to do with this beauty here. I have not decided yet, but the really cool part about this guy is not dangerous at all. He's we're safe. He's not going to do anything to us. We just have to wait until somebody has carried him somewhere. But all in all, cage traps, you know. A troll is a really dangerous creature, you know. You shouldn't mess with the trolls, but under these circumstances, nobody came to suffer any damage whatsoever. I'm quite happy. So we're going to install that kind of safety system also up here, of course, because I figured that this would be really a good second layer of defenses there. Don't you agree? So let's do that here as well. and well, we need to forge those things there. So what we can do, because obviously you want that iron cage more importantly. It is quite a painful procedure, but you can click them up. I really wish you could shift click or control click to move it all the way up, or at least have a button to move it to the highest priority, but as of yet, this is not possible, as you see there. Yeah, Dwarf Fortress is its own, is a beast on its own. But we have it now above all the other smithy jobs, and this means that the cage production is now of a much higher priority than before. That's something that I really wanted to accomplish. So let's check out our bar inventory one more time. So we're set with everything. I really like to check out my stockpiles of metals every now and then. Especially coke should be checked every so and so often, because it's just useful to know, you know. Sometimes stuff runs out without your notice, and that can be a problem, because sometimes you rely on a certain industry that it's working, and then it's not, and this can be problematic. Most of the time it's not, but it can be. So we're going to set up now a little bit of a blueprint pattern. I highly doubt that they will find something in the next couple of levels there. But I really love to give them jobs like these in between, because we will get a notification as soon as we hit a cavern layer or anything like that. We will get notified, so it's totally okay to do these things like that. Usually I don't play in a mineral-rich world like that, because I personally find it quite boring to have everything at my disposal in these amounts, but I figured for a learning match, it would be really cool to have everything at our disposal as much as we want to. So let's take this as the last layer, and as you see there, we just assigned a couple of jobs there, and we'll see how far we'll get with that. So let's see how things proceed from here. Slaughtering some cats before they can adopt any dwarfs. I know it sounds cruel, but you have to do what you have to do, you know. Alright, so obviously the iron cage is still not on a too high priority. I dislike that. And we're being sieged. So I'm going to put siege on the next episode. This is a really nice start for the next episode, and I thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to drop me a comment down below and leave a thumbs up on that video if you enjoyed. Consider subscribing if you haven't done so already, and we're going to go through the siege in the next one. See you soon, and thanks for watching.